Hello everyone, this is Jon for PokerVIP, and this is the final installment of the How I Moving Up series that I've done on BetVictor, which is part of the Microgaming Network. If you've not seen the previous videos, go back to the coaching video section, scroll down and they'll all be there for you. I basically started out with 4NL, moved all the way up to 10, 20, 50 and now 100NL. Basically speaking about the key differences and how we need to change our strategy a little bit as we move up. And just a few top tips, what to be aware of, and what to look out for, how to build your game, and how to constantly, rely on opening ranges, making notes on players, looking at different opening sizes, and also, just any reads you can get from paying attention. So 4NL was obviously pretty basic, a lot of limping, a lot of fish, a lot of recreational players. That started to change once we hit 50NL. A lot more competent players, a lot more regs, and basically because of that, they put on a bit more pressure. The bets got a little bit bigger. There was a lot more 3 and 4 betting, and a lot more all-ins pre-flop. Being put to a decision for your stack. Now, the aim was always to get to 100NL, and if you are a grinder, this is where we should all be aiming to get to, and then we can really launch into the mid stakes. But this is a great learning ground. 100NL will teach you not everything you need to know, but it will teach you a pretty big chunk of what you need to know. And what I'm going to say is, it's very similar to 50NL. I personally, weirdly, think 100NL is softer than 50NL. It might not be everywhere, but basically, on microgaming, and to be honest, a lot of the sites I've come across, it's always just been a little bit softer for me. Now, I don't know if that's because my playing style suits this, or just because the games are softer. And, it's kind of hard to believe that higher levels, easier than a lower level, than 50NL. But I think at 50NL there's a lot of regs and there's a lot of rakeback grinders and there's just a lot of tight players. Whereas when you get to 100NL, you see people sort of 50NL has taken a jump as well. They're all trying to play in these games that they might not be playing perfectly, or people who sort of just want to be a bit more aggro here and a bit more eager to stack off and to gamble with you. I've got my HUD up here because I actually have hands on these players, and you can see even here this reg 2.4k hands on him, and he plays 30, 25, 7.2. So he's losing at quite a big rate as well over those hands. So you can straight away see even like the regs are a bit looser, and just look around the table, another reg there 30, fish 46, fish 33, a reg there 21, 21 the stats we expect to see. So like I say, a bit more gambly, bit more intense, but a lot of fun I think, and that's what makes it a lot of fun. Okay, so going into it, ace queen here. Someone who opens 35%, I definitely think we should be 3-betting out of position with ace queen. Also in position with ace queen is fine, but we take the lead here. We get worse hands to call a lot, and we can get value for our hand, no matter what really there. The only time we need to be concerned is if he does find the 4-bet. But, we've got to put the 3-bet in for value and take it from there. I opened queen 10 and I checked it back on this ace high. I do that a lot when the flush is on board. On a lot of turns I can just call a bet, but once it comes another club, I'm just going to shut down, hopefully get to showdown and have the best hand, but not be too confident about it, but not be at the point where I think we need to bluff. And up there, table 1, queen 10 suited, just min-raise the button. Like I say, min-raise or 2.5x is fine with, a 40% plus range. For all range charts and conversations and topics, and people talking about moving up, make sure you click the link below to the forum thread. It'll have all the information there for you. It even mentions the size of you, like a needed bankroll. Between 4 and 6 tables, I'll say the minimum you should ever have is 25 buy-ins. But generally, I've always kind of had 50 to 100 buy-ins as a minimum. I can't remember the last time I had less than 100 buy-ins for one stake, but it all just depends on your lifestyle, if you can withdraw money. Ace 10 suited there, out of position versus an unknown. I'm just going to go ahead and fold for now, play it safe. If I was going to play that hand, I prefer to 3-bet and take control, but I had no reason to yet. I've not seen this player do anything, so I can just go ahead and muck it. Again, looking around the table here, you can see another reg who's 30%. Another fish, a reg who's got pretty solid stats, 22-19, but you can see that huge 11.8% 3-bet. And then obviously here a monster fish, 73%. So actually looking at the previous 50NL video, if I was to have the stats up there, this game is a lot softer when it comes to having recreational players or loose regs on. At 50NL, you'd be getting a lot of 2018s, 22, 19s, those types of players. Aces here, 4x under the gun, like I recommend to do, with our super tight under the gun opening range. The reason we do that, we get a lot of value from hands. People don't really pay attention to it. It puts us in a much easier position because they have to 3-bet more when they do, so we make money from that. King 9 are defended. Pocket 9's a 4x because we've got a limper, and like I've spoken a lot about before, when someone limps, they're generally a fish, so let's isolate and get it heads up. Once it impraises me, I'm not exactly folding. I'm not terrified or anything, but I'm not going to go ahead and put more money in there, so I can just go ahead and call. King 9 here, I'm going to lead the turn once it goes check on a king high. Ace 4 here, I'm going to call. I'm calling because obviously this guy opens 46% of the hands. Ace 4 suited plays well against the fish, and that's all good. I'm going to make a value bet here with King 9 again. I think it's totally fine, even though the flush draw gets there. I want him to call with his pocket pairs, 7s, 8s, 9s, maybe even a 5. Pocket 9s, once he checks to me, I'm just going to go ahead and check back. I don't want to bet and get raised off my hand. I want to play this pot in position, keep the pot small until I'm happy that I've got the best hand, and I'm in position. It's all we really need sometimes. I just can't see myself folding. I mean, he's literally repping aces, or a hand like that. So it's kind of like a what do you do? Why do I do it? Kind of spot. Once he pop bets here, like I say again, he's repping aces. I know I like to call in these things to prove points, but 51 euros is a lot of money to start proving points. I don't mind doing a 4NL for 4 euros, but for 51. I'm just not too sure. So I don't have any stats on him. I've never seen him play a hand. He's limp raised. He's checked the flop. He's potted the turn, and now he's potted the river. He's definitely screaming strength to me, so I'm going to go ahead and make a really tough but solid fold there. 10 CI opened. I've been check min raised by a fish. Again, I'm just not folding here. Also, the reason to call and not to raise is to induce. Like if he's just got a random shitty hand, he could just keep on bombing off. And although 10s is quite an exposed hand on a board like this, it's definitely fine to do. And I can just go ahead and check back, go to showdown, see that he just had a 7-8 offsuit. So if I was you, I'd be noting this guy. Check raise top pair, bad spot, bets once on safe turn and shuts down. We missed a hand there, just king jack, it's fine. Obviously I'd expand on that note, but it's kind of hard to talk and write and play at the same time, whilst also drinking and watching what to do whilst making videos. But yeah, you know what I mean. Always note them. That's a great note to have on someone. He does that again. You've got pocket 10s. You can make it 18, 20. Get him to commit more money with a terrible hand, and just keep on reaping the benefit of that. If you are playing with my ranges, it's going to have you opening about 18 to 20% of overall hands. That's just a really tight, aggressive, solid player. Nothing wrong with that. Ace 9 suited, I don't think I need to raise. I can just go ahead and call. Pocket kings, once I 3-bet, I'm just going to go ahead and make a really good size continuation bit on quite a safe board. Ace 9 suited would turn a flush draw, but again I'm just going to check. He might bet all his air on the turn, which we can call with ace high. Hopefully we just get to see a cheap river though, or a free river. And either go to showdown and be ahead with ace high, or make a hand and value bet it. He's thinking about it. He's bet here now. I'm not calling to hit a flush. I'm not calling to hit an ace or a 9. I'm calling because I think I'm ahead. And the times I'm not ahead, obviously we can improve on the river. We actually brick then. It's not a good card for us. He can have a lot of queen x's in his range. If he does bet, I'd expect him to have like a decent 7 or better. If he checks, I expect to be ahead. Or to be up against maybe like pocket 2s. Something really, really weak like that. They just thought he'd defend on the turn. He seems to like to tank in these really small pots. I thought every decision would be obvious. So a pretty easy fold there for me, I think. And again, if you guys got any comments, leave it in the comment section below, or click the forum link. And let's get chatting in the forum. It's there to be used for strategy talk, um, fun, making blogs. I've got a blog there as well. It's called My Poker Journey, The Grinder's Grind. Got, put daily graphs up, some cool music in there, a little bit of a life story, how I'm doing with my fitness and so on. And if you do want to sign up to BetVictor, you can go through the forum link or go to pokervip.com/deals. If you sign up, you'll be able to take out 30% cash back every day whenever you want, just cashing in points. You get a 20% deposit bonus. You're including in all the races that BetVictor are eligible in, which I think is about $50,000 worth per month at the moment. And you get some free merchandise. We'll send you out a couple of free t-shirts and some patches. Okay, so this table's gone heads up, so I'm going to quit that because the strategy doesn't really come into it that I'm teaching for heads up. It's going to just leave me opening a lot and calling and making more 3-bets. So I'll just pull up my lobby, grab a new table really quickly. No real table selection whilst I'm making videos because it's good to have a variation, and if there are regs then that's fun, if there's fish then that's fun as well. Queen's under the gun, standard 4x. And again, if you've got any questions about why we 4x, what's the reason, how you feel about it, how people might be reacting to you if you're making money under the gun more than you were before, leave a comment. The new table we opened, I know that Tarzan's the loose reg. Bam Bam's a reg as well. I think Eagly's a reg as well, so pretty fun table. Interesting spot here with one overcard, but we are in position. And I don't want someone to, get a free turn card if they've got, 6-7, ace-2, ace-3. I think I can have the best hand pretty much a majority of the time. I definitely wouldn't expect someone to have ace-king here. So if they do have a king, it would be like, king-queen, but that's unlikely because I've got a queen. It's like queen-jacking, king-jacking, king-10s. Is that the majority of his kings, maybe king-9 suited because he's a bit loose. Once he calls, I'm not too happy. We know this guy likes a tank. But I'm definitely not thinking I'm just crushed, but I will start to slow down here, control the size of the pot, and play the turn and river in position. So I'm going to go ahead and check here. Another card, obviously, if he flopped a pair, he now beats me. King beats me, 5 beats me, 4 beats me. What hands could I get value from? Maybe like 10s or jacks if he wants to hero me. But that's about it. I think a lot of worse hands are going to fold, and I think a lot of better hands are going to call, so it just makes it a really easy check. And he has king queen. Obviously, we had a blocker 2 king queen, but it was one of the hands that we mentioned would flat there and probably play the hand that way. I'm surprised he didn't go for a river value bet. I think my hands kind of face up there. Like I don't really have a full house. Versus this loosest reg, I'm just gonna over 3x it. He likes to call. He likes to 4-bet. So we'll definitely allow him to do that. He does call, as planned, and it's quite a wet flop, so we're going to go ahead and bet pretty big here. We do have the ace of hearts as a really nice backup and blocker, though, in case he does have one of those kind of hands. Not a good turn for us here, but I don't think he has ace-king too often. I don't think he has king-9 too often. I don't think he has jack-queen too often. So I'm pretty safe betting for value there against hands like king-queen, king-jack, and ace-jack. The queen gets there, and now it's just thinking, does he have more queens or more jacks? I'm going to go ahead and check here. And I'm probably going to call if he bets, just because all, like, the flush draw missed, or he might turn a jack into a bluff. Or he might even, like, bet a jack pretty small for value. He did have king jack there, so we got a nice bit of value. The jack 6 hand here, villain opened, we defended. Obviously, we're calling now, we've made a pair. Sadly, he had a higher pair, but I think once we improve and villain stabs it after we've shown no interest at all, we can go ahead and put some money in. Ace jack, definitely a fine to check call here. I was concentrating on the other hand, so excuse me, but by checking we allow villain to bet all his draws, induce all his no pairs, and let all his jack queens, king queens, king x's, 6-7s, and all that kind of hands bet. On the river we can go ahead and check fold if he bets again. I think we're sort of repping like 9s, a 10, even ace high. He bets 32. When people bet pretty big, I think they've generally got it, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold. I really do hope you've enjoyed watching this series. I'll do it again on other sites. The reason I showcase Bet Victor is the rake back, the cash back, the bonuses, the rake races. It all just adds so much to your bottom line. You can make so much money, even if you lose a little bit. You can actually make money just from the money you get back, the rake back. If you break even, obviously that's just instant profit, and if you make money, then you just make oodles. Also going from 100 and L upwards. There's still plenty of games, lots of traffic, lots of action. I mean, I'm sat here on a Sunday at 5 o'clock, and in the lobby there's 11 full tables of 100 and L, and then 5 games where someone's sat ready to start a game. So compared to a lot of the sites, it's pretty hectic, pretty great traffic. I never struggle to get a game. I mean, from like 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. it goes pretty quiet, but generally it's booming. And I think I will do like a mid-stake series, do 200 and 400 maybe. I'll definitely do a 200, but like I say, I actually play 100 and L, so I'm not too sure how great I'd be at doing a 400 and L video because I haven't played there for about a year now. But I'm personally ready to go up to 200 and L, so I'm happy to share that journey with you. 9-10 suited in the cutoff, definitely an open, and we get some folds. Hand that everyone likes playing. Ace-5 offsuit, under the gun I'd go for a fold. Ace is here versus a pretty tight reg, just going to 3-bet it and hope to get some action. Sadly we don't. People might ask about slow playing, calling versus tight people. I'd say we're just, wasting a lot of money, especially in the out of position. In position you can start thinking about slow playing a lot more. But out of position versus a competent reg, I don't think they're going to start stacking with jacks when it comes like 8-9-3 and then all of a sudden we give them all the action in the world. So I would say just start, betting it for yourself and getting the money. What I would say here as well, people don't like to fold that much. I value bet pretty big amounts. If there's 30 in the middle, I might bet 26, 27. When in, smaller games, I might bet, 21 or 22. People just don't believe you as much, so they like to put the money in. 9-10 suited, I thought it was a great idea to c-bet on a ace-high. Once we get called and obviously a flush comes, I'm just going to go ahead and shut down. Pocket 3s here, I'm 3-betting against this villain to 5-bet jam. He's very loose, he's very aggressive, he 4-bet folds a lot. 9-10 suited just a fold. Pocket 3s he does call, which isn't great, but a good flop for us to represent, even though there are a lot of draws there for him to have. We could probably get him to fold, deuces through to 10s. I doubt he's going to fold, an ace or a king, but I don't think he has many of those, so a c-bet should work a lot of the time. Ace-king suited, definitely an open. Not getting a great amount of action today, but that's fine. King-queen suited, I could definitely get aggressive with it, but I'm just going to play this aggressive guy in position. Under-rep the strength of my hand. Especially when it comes to boards like this, he's going to find it very hard to believe I've got, king, queen, ace, queen. So he might bet a lot worse, like his jack, queens, his tens, and so on. Ace, jack suited here, we are a little bit deep, 120 bigs effective, so I'm going to call out a position. I don't know much about this villain, so I don't want to 4-bet. And, start getting 5-bet and getting in and so on. He bets when I flop a jack, so I've got to call, even though it's not the greatest board ever for us. King, queen, just going to keep letting it barrel and just call and call. Board runs out really well for us, any of his draws missed. He could definitely have us beat. But I don't believe it too often. Ace-jack, I'm going to call again and then reevaluate the river. It's a bad river for us, obviously, because the straight gets there. Now I'm thinking, does he have aces and kings? Could we rep a queen? I'm just not too sure, so I'm going to go ahead and check. Maybe he was barreling in those hands himself. King, queen, just going to go ahead and call again. He actually had ace, queen, he had me pipped, so we saved a bit of money there. And that's that. We turn a flush down here, going to go ahead and raise that. Ace, jack, going to go ahead and fold, now everything got there. He's repping queens or ace, queen, or king, queen there. With the 9-high flush, I know some of you might be thinking that's a little bit risky, but the truth is when you're out of position, you're going to have to raise because they're not going to bet it for you on the river. They're going to shut down a lot. They're not going to pay you off. They might not believe you. You want to be able to check raise the turn to them, bet on the river, and get value for your hand, because if you just check call and they just check the river, we lose all that value versus hands which could have called the turn, because if you think about it, a lot of hands are going to call there. His combos, pair and a draw, his sets, his haze highs, and probably king high flush draws. So let's get value for it. Gonna go ahead and bet this ace 5 suited now after bot control on the flop and play my hand deceptively. Pocket 9 I'm gonna go ahead and raise, even though a flush and straight gets there. I think a lot of time he's got, like I was saying below, king X or some random clubs. So I want to get some value for it. It's a little bit riskier, but I don't want him to get that club on the river that was gonna come and be able to bet, and for me to want to fold. So I'm gonna raise for value and get him to maybe spaz off a little there. Pocket 7, see no need to do anything else but call. Not the greatest flop for us. 2 overs, and obviously, a lot of bad cards to kill. Once he checks me, I'm going to check back. Hope to improve. I don't want to bet and get check raised. Obviously, we could still be beaten now, even though we turned a set, but I expect a lot of people to bet their sets on flops like this. Pretty confident I'm ahead, so I'm going to go ahead and bet for value. I think any pair that he's got would call, unless it's, deuces or, a pair lower than a 7. But, if he's got a 10, he's calling. If he's got an ace, he's calling. If he's got jacks, queens, or kings, he's folding. He might call me there with king, queen, or jack, queen, or king, jack, thinking that they might be good, and he's got a gut shot. Pretty easy decision here with ace, king. Pretty tight player, but versus a short stack. Raising ace, king, isolating, and playing a potting with him in position. Heads up is fine, and if we have to get it in, then ace, king's obviously a fine hand to do that with. Great flop for us there, going to bet pretty small. Want him to call all of his ace queens, ace jacks, ace tens, which I think he's got plenty of. Ace is under the gun, let's ramp it up. No action, sadly. Queen 3 I checked, even though I fish limped. Queen 3 just isn't a big enough hand to really go raising. We've already isolated because we're playing heads up versus him. Once we make a pair, we can just go ahead and bet for value. Hope anything he's got calls us. That's as far as the strategy goes there. We've got a top pair. We think a lot worse than call. I'm also folding a lot here, blind v blind. Versus really loose players, I don't want, a hand like 4-5 or king 5 or 4-7. I'd rather play, more strong aggressive hands. More strong hands aggressively, sorry. Don't think there's such a thing as an aggressive hand. Jack 4, definitely not part of our opening range. 6-9, just trying to get there, with our good shot straight, but we missed, and we got 9 high, and I don't think that's any good. If you want to see my graph for 100 NL, like I say, go to the My Journey section, and mine's called My Poker Journey, The Grinder's Grind. It's all on there for you to see. I am a winner at these games. I'm not sure what my win rate is, but I think it's about 4 BB plus in these actual games. Overall, it's just a bit lower than 3 BB currently. So even though I might not play like every instructor or everyone that or even yourself, my style does certainly work. And it works for me pretty well. King 8 suited here, I defended, pretty standard. Gonna go to showdown here, expect king high to be ahead a lot of the time. Obviously we're calling because we've got king high and the nut flush draw. 8-10 offsuit here, definitely a button open, and definitely a c-bet versus a fish. Half pot's fine. And why is it, definitely a c-bet versus a fish? Well, they call with so much, they might just float there with like any random 2 cards. They might have bottom pair, and they can definitely have an 8 as well with a smaller kicker, so we get value out of a lot. A7 there, just fine and easy. Gonna change his table, get a 600 table up. And again, I'm on all normal tables here, so I'm gonna bring up a anon table, which is pretty cool. Like I say, test all these tables out. I'm not actually sure where I win the most money, if it's anon or regular or turbo. But I play them all. I will actually check that on my holder manager and leave a note in my journey, because I may be losing some money where I shouldn't, or not gaining some money where I should. Okay, here fish limps and 1-5x's to isolate. Totally standard to still go ahead and raise. I'm going to raise pretty big because I'm out of position and we are deep. But the main reason is I want this prince to do something stupid. I want him to call or raise. Just go nuts, basically. And I don't want this Chipurkey to be able to just call and outplay me in position too often. I want to charge him because he's not isolating that guy with like a nutted range. He's going to have a lot of ace queens and ace jacks there. And I think he'll still call my 3-bet a lot of the time, whether it's 15 or 17. King jack suited, I'm just going to go ahead and peel. Ace queen offsuit, I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet. I think that's all pretty standard stuff. Ace king, I can go ahead and c-bet on a board like this. I'm going to get a lot of his hands of equity to fold, which we beat. And obviously I can rip flush draws and whatnot on future streets. Jack here, I've got a call and a flop top pair. Jack 7 suited is borderline, but we can open. Ace king, I'm going to go ahead and call because ace high can be ahead. Or I've got the king high flush draw as a backup. Once he bets again, I can just go ahead and fold. He's repping a straight, a flush, a 6, or a better. Versus this guy, even though he's a massive fish, we shouldn't be calling 3-bets, even though it was really small. Maybe that is... Excuse me, maybe that was borderline, actually. Maybe we could have peeled there. But it's the first 3-bet he's made in 56 hands. It was very small. Jack 7 suited. I think if I had Jack 10 suited, 9-10 suited, I probably would have called. But Jack 7 suited, I think, is just pretty close, pretty on the edge. 8-9, just going to go ahead and bet. Pretty happy doing that. Going to get a lot of his smaller pairs to fold, his ace highs and whatnot. Once a turn 2 pair, I can just go ahead and check. I don't think I'll be folding too often here. Basically, he could definitely bluff here. I think I've just got a random ace high. It's hard for him to have like too many 7s. He's really happy with a 10. Although this sizing is pretty big, it does definitely worry me. It's a turbo table, so I don't have too much time. Yeah, his sizing is really big. And you know, both gut shots did get there, which he could have, so I'm going to go ahead and fold that one. Pocket 9 is definitely fine to call a 3-bet in position. Once he snap checks the flop, it worries me a little bit. It doesn't worry me at the same time, because basically my move is to check. He then bombs the turn, so I guess it was a bit of a trappy check, so I can go ahead and fold. We did have a gut shot that we did hit, but obviously he could have ace queen, and that could have got us into some trouble. And we shouldn't really be calling just wanting to hit a 4-outer, or what we assume to be a 4-outer. I thought I was behind there because of the way he played it. He 3-bet me, he checked that flop, he bet big on the turn. Makes sense for him to have a pretty big hand there. Couple of easy folds. So again, pokervip.com/deals. Go to BetVictor, get an account. Hit live support if you want to know exactly what the deal is, how it's paid, how you can get your money, how much you can make. Also, give us your name, address, and size for your free t-shirt. We're here 24/7, and that's what live support's there for. Add me on Skype, Jon_PokerVIP. Email us, hello@pokervip.com. Post on the forum, PM me on the forum. Any way you want to get in contact, we're here. Like I say, 24/7 to help. And go ahead and sit out now, call that a video. And what I will be doing, even though this is the end of this series of the, pretty much how I moved up from the micros to low stakes, and then, pretty much ready to go from the lows to the mid myself. I will be making a lot more live play videos for 100 NL because I do play here. I think I've got a lot to share with that. Hopefully you enjoyed it, like I say. Head on over to the forum. Check it all out. Make sure you also look at all our other coaches' videos. We've got anywhere from I'm from Sweden, Internet, James Keys, Stewie Stagg, Lewis, tons of people there, Alexi's PLO videos, everything you could ever want. And it's all free. All you have to do is register, your name and email address. And like I said, check out all the promos, go to the deals page. And this was Jon for PokerVIP.com. Good luck at the tables.